Good evening and welcome to the Select Board. It's March 11th. We have a quorum here, plus we have Sam on Zoom. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of January 31st?
Motion to approve the minutes of January 31st.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, Sam. Motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 11th.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes, of February 11th.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Old business, consideration of voting method of the town meeting warrant, Select Board. It's going to be like the via secret ballot versus open town meeting. This is, I think, on our third week of trying to decide what we're going to do. So we have heard pretty much, I think, from everybody in the room as far as how they wanted to vote before. So I'm going to put it up here to the Select Board.
I actually have a question.
Okay.
I came across new information. That's why I wanted to ask. Jennifer Danzig, 38 Pulpit Rock Road. So I happened to see an article about Harpswell, and they hold an annual town meeting, and it was supposed to be on Saturday, March 8th, and they had a bunch of high-profile issues. One was their comprehensive plan, one was building a new fire station, and I forget what the other one was. I don't, whether or not to tear down an aging building on a field or whatever. And they ended up having to cancel the meeting because the gym was so full of people who showed up that day that it exceeded the gym's capacity, so they couldn't hold their annual town meeting, so they had to. So then I kind of was like, in reading the article, it said that like they were first postponing the meeting and then they canceled the meeting, but they were still allowing the polls to be open. So then I sort of like remembered from our past discussions that we weren't allowed to have a hybrid. So I sort of Googled and said like, what's going on with Harpswell? How are they having a town meeting and polls open at the same time? And apparently Harpswell, they have their polls open from 9 to 5 that day, but their town meeting with an open forum for the residents to come and debate on the issues, if they want to debate them before they vote, starts at 10 a.m. So somehow they're doing a hybrid where they're having the town meeting, the exact same, to debate and talk about the issues that are on the ballot at the same time that they have the ballot going from 9 to 5 that entire day. So it sounds to me like people who don't want to come and debate and learn about the issue before they vote can just vote, and the people that do want to have that community interaction or whatever before they vote so that they know what they're voting on, have that opportunity. So I don't know the answer to that. It's tax season for me, so usually I prep a few hours before I come to these select board meetings so that I'm very fluent on the issues, and I'm not that tonight. I just did a little bit of due diligence. So I don't know the answer to that with respect to that, and I thought about Derek's hybrid opportunity, and I think the issue with that is, at first I thought it was a really good idea, but then I thought about it and it's like, well, if people can't make the time to come to the town meeting to vote that day, what makes you think they're going to make the time to come to the public hearing one Saturday and then come for the vote the next Saturday? Because then that's 2 days that they have to set aside to come to get educated about it, versus one day if you have the town meeting and the vote the same day. So I don't know if anyone knows the answer about Harpswell or how they're doing.
Well, I don't know how they're doing it, but in town here, what happens is when you go to an open town meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, an in-town meeting, you can vote an article down, but you cannot vote it up. So meanwhile, if they're having an open town meeting and they're changing things, that means that those ballots that people are voting on all day are wrong. So if they change an article and they vote it down, say for instance, the library is $10,000, and the public says, no, I want it $5,000, and the public passes it. Meanwhile, the ballots are saying $10,000.
Right.
And then the people are doing 5. So you can't do it both at the same time. So I don't know how they're doing it. I wouldn't want to have to figure it out. And as far as the hybrid and stuff like that,
You can't make changes anyway.
no.
In the open
Right.
open town meeting vote, you can't make any changes. You can discuss all you want.
You're down.
You can go down, you can vote down.
No,
the number,
I
but you
realize.
can't go up, yes.
But you can change, yes, down on the numbers, but you can't like reword, you can't like change anything in there. You're not allowed to change any of that stuff.
Right, so meanwhile.
There's
as far-
discussion back and forth, and there's
Right.
no like
What-
changing
I
of
mean,
words.
I could,
obviously, it's
Madam
not
Chair?
going to change for this June, but I do think, like, before you vote, like, yes, we're going to do this going forward, or no, we're not going to do this going forward, and just doing, like, straw polls to people that you talk about. I think
Yeah,
maybe
it's-
it
it's
would
not-
behoove us
that's
to do
not
some
legal.
research on what some of the other towns are doing.
Well-
Because every town around us, including Wyndham, which is a lot bigger than us, still does town meeting, and they get people showing up, and they get people that care about the issue. And I think as we're seeing with what's happening in our federal government and people who want to be heard and voice their opinions, I mean, we're seeing a lot of the public start to get really engaged in their federal politics, in their local politics, whether they're putting stuff in their social media or they're actually out protesting, or there's a record number of people that are joining Run for something. So I think there is renewed interest. So I think, like, to historically say, well, in the past, I think we're in a really a time of change and a time of engagement and a time of interest. So all I'm going to say, you guys do you. I appreciate that you show up and that you do the hard work for the people of Raymond. I just wanted to say that I came across this. I know it's not going to affect this year, but I think this is something that we should take seriously and maybe look into what other towns are doing before, like, it's just like, yeah, I like it. No, I don't like it. Well, in the past we did this one, because life is moving pretty quickly these days, and it's changing, and people are really getting engaged. Thank
All right,
you.
so we're going to go back to the board. Derek's going to explain.
Well, I'll just make a motion that we have the 2 open public forum meetings and an annual town meeting by secret ballot.
That's what we have now.
Wait a minute, no, yes, but correction on that. You want to do either the secret ballots, but we wouldn't do the 2 public meetings secret ballot. They would
They'd be open public forums. They would
Yes.
not be meetings. That's why.
Do you mean two public hearings?
Short hearings. You want me to change the word hearing?
You need a public hearing and an
Yeah, that's-
informational, anything to get, yes.
Yes. That makes it clear.
Then we should to vote on that, what I just said, and then change it?
Nope, I'm going to second that, and then we're going to talk amongst us here for the discussion.
I believe we can do a hybrid, but I would recommend that we do it a Saturday, and we do everyone on the budget committee, select board, and the zoning, all the committees that you would normally have, take answer the questions, educate people on what's going on, and then you have the ballot the following Tuesday. And all we would change is that the meeting would be set up as an annual town meeting for questions and answers, clarifications, with the following vote. It would all be done with a 3-day period.
So what would you do for the second meeting then, Dennis? Just a different day?
The
I mean-
second meeting, I think all we're doing is talking to people like this that come in. There's going to be 20 people.
Oh, it
But if you-
doesn't-
But if you set up a meeting
Yep.
and know the votes following, and it's on live broadcast, so anyone at home wants to watch it, and there's no reason, if Kevin is as clever as he is, can't figure out the way to Zoom, then people could ask questions and send them in, write them up and have them send in to us, and we could answer questions, because I'm telling you, when I was standing at the front of the door, at least 20 people came in, and if you look at how many blanks were left on the referendum, there was confusion. People didn't understand them, and all they said is that was the most difficult vote we've ever had. And there was a guy walking with 2 canes and said it was awful. We just want to eliminate that, in my opinion. That's all I've
And
ever asked
then even
for.
if they can't make that meeting that we had before, it's
They can still do
recorded.
absentee
They can
ballot.
get it. Well, no, I'm saying the informational part. You can get it anytime you want. It's
Yes.
recorded, and you can
Yes.
do your own research. If you're not there available that day to Zoom in to do anything, you can watch it, and you can always
Yes.
email in questions or come to,
Yes.
That's
I think it's as close as we're going to get to a compromise, because I think it's going to be 2 and 2 today.
Sam, do you have anything to say? Nope. Okay, you got a speaker. All right. Go ahead.
I apologize. I've never been to a meeting about
go up
this
to the
or had a
podium.
chance to comment on this
Podium.
topic.
Just state your
name
name
and
and what your address.
Yeah, my name is Benjamin Crowder. I live at on the 63 Sloan's Cove Road, just down the road from here. I've lived in Raymond now since 1987. I've been on and off involved with government, both in a family nature, and then later on I served on the Board of Appeals in the Raymond Village Library. I think that this sounds like a really good compromise compared to what I've been hearing. I watched some of the other broadcasts. I think it sounds like a good solution. I think you still have the chance to educate the public, but those public meetings can tend to become quite contentious in my experience and my history of being here. Not everyone's going to agree with everyone else, so the opportunity to still have a secret ballot about where the final destination come from may reduce some of that conflict and still give people a chance to be heard and be educated on the issue, so we don't have a situation like Dennis was just talking about where referendums are confusing to us. They don't understand what they're voting for, so they don't vote for anything at all. But it still gives people that opportunity to come in on a longer time frame and make a 5-minute vote rather than having to be present all day in order to make a vote on all of the issues. I think that's important. I think if we were to switch to just voting at the town meeting on the warrant there instead of doing the secret ballot, that we would disenfranchise a lot of potential voters. So I think that'd be a real concern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This is like your short time, guys, if you guys want to add anything else to this, we're going to keep it.
Peter Levitt, 2 Levitt Road. Number one, my understanding is that this vote, as far as history with Select Board, as to the form of the town meeting, is an annual event.
Yep.
So we're not deciding anything now that extends beyond this year.
Yep.
Number one. Number two, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would make a recommendation first, and that's that before you go ahead and commit to this, that you reach out to legal. My understanding is the statute in the state of Maine says that you have an option. You can have an open town meeting, or you can have a referendum by secret ballot. I have read nothing in the statute that says what you can do is have both. So I heard the term thrown around along with the referendum by secret ballot, the word town meeting. I don't believe you can have both. These would be public hearings in which there would be...
I said
Yes.
public forum,
Yeah.
but we
in
can
which
change
there
it to
would
public
be
meeting if you
no voting.
Right.
No,
Right.
there's none. Just talking it out,
So
asking
just to be
questions,
clear
all
for
that.
everybody.
Yes, he changed it.
You
Yeah.
can't have both of those.
No.
That's my understanding.
Right.
But I would suggest before you go down this road, you reach out to legal and see if what you are proposing is going to comply with state law.
Well, this is really no different than what we've done in the past. What we're doing is the same thing as far as a secret ballot.
We're adding
But
a
all
public
we're
hearing.
doing is we're adding another hearing. We have to have a public hearing before it
So
per
we've
state
always
law.
had public.
Yes, we've always had it, but people don't show up.
I appreciate that, Teresa. So
Yes.
what I'm hearing, and for the edification of this audience, what's happening is if the vote goes for this, it's a vote for no change. And I believe that there are some individuals here, if not, at least me, that is saying, what is the problem with having an open town meeting this year and see what results we get? And it wouldn't be the end of the world if 12 people showed up, in my opinion, because there'd be 12 engaged, interested citizens that would want to discuss matters involving the present and future of the town. Thank you. No, what you're going to vote for is no change.
Well, what it is, we are adding another informational meeting with that. Yeah. So what we're doing, though, but it's a matter of the comments that are coming out, that are being thrown out there, are that people aren't informed and people don't fully know what they're voting for, and I don't agree with that. And so Jerica did a survey just to see what people are feeling too, just to try and get more of the input. But it's just I guess it's just a personal. Maybe that's why we've been going half and half, because it's just a personal opinion. All right. If we are all done on the board. Oh, I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
Sean McKipp, 84 Main Street. Just a question. So we're talking about only 12 people coming out, which realistically I think we will get more. Just kind of curious, if we're taking that vote that day, how many people, all right, so Budget Finance, Select Board, these committees where we need to vote people in, is there a minimum that a person needs to get in order to be on that board? Minimum.
No, the
votes.
board, those are all secret ballot anyway. You can't
So
change
there would
those.
just still be secret ballots, what you're saying? So there won't be any voting that night for that?
No.
Okay.
No. During the public
during the day.
hearing and during the informational meeting, there will be
No
no
votes
voting
anyway.
at all.
I understand that.
None, yes.
Going back to-
As far as the secret ballot, it'll be like the 7 to 8 at night type
Would you
thing.
like me to answer
Go
his
for it.
question?
Yes, thank you.
The municipal officers are always voted by secret ballot. So that's always separate. Even when we have an in-person town meeting, we have what's called a bifurcated meeting. We'll do the budget articles at open town meeting, the ordinance changes at open town meeting, and then we'll adjourn to a date certain of the election date to be able to vote the secret ballot municipal officer ballot.
Right.
Okay. I appreciate that clarification, because I think that's very important just for everybody to understand, so thank you.
All right, we're going to move this vote. All right. All in favor?
Well, I think there's a clarification. I'm sorry. Peter, I think you know that before COVID, the public meetings were open, and all the discussion and all the explanations were at that one meeting, and it was voted up and down, and sometimes it had to be read on the ballot. What we're talking about when they say we're doing this, the way we always do it, is we've had meetings before the secret ballot since COVID.
Okay.
And that's what they're talking about continuing. Only I said if you did it, and I'm trying to say this clearly, if you set it up for a Saturday open meeting for discussion, at least people have a chance to get into, and then you do the secret ballot that following Tuesday. And it would be anyone who wanted to go on TV and listen to the explanation. It would eliminate a lot of the blanks, if nothing else. And then by the time we come up to next year, there may be a whole different discussion with other issues. At least that gets us over this hump. It says we will have a meeting that people can attend, and we'll have enough, there'll be 20 people just with the board members, with everyone coming in. So I think that's a compromise to do the Saturday followed by a Tuesday, and people be paying attention rather than 2 months before the vote or a month and a half before the vote. So I think it's a distinct difference, and I would like to be that part of the motion, that there'd be an open meeting for discussion.
Open
Well,
public.
he's got a motion and it's been second, so you can't
Okay, that's right.
change the motion.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I wrote it down, so if you,
Yep.
All right.
the motion was to have 2 public forum meetings and an annual town meeting by secret ballot.
Okay,
So
that is what is on the
that's
table
what
right now.
was on the table.
And it's been seconded, so that's,
Okay.
You can still have them.
yes. And there's
Nobody
always,
shows up to the first one, oh well, but that's what I'm.
there's always been public hearings, because what is the state law that you have to do that? Title something?
For before town meeting, Title 30A.
Title 30A, so it's,
I believe those 2 meetings are set up for 6 o'clock on weekdays, aren't they?
no, we said we change them.
Did you change them
Yeah,
yet?
no, we haven't even said them yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't have, in my
But it's
motion, I
not-
don't
it's not
have
a motion,
an
and the
end
motion's
date.
already out there too. So what we're gonna do is pick a day, 2 days that are good for people, and on different days.
Okay,
So if
but-
it has to be, if one of them is a Saturday, so be it. If one is during the weekday, so be it. We can schedule those within the time frame that has to be scheduled.
We can vote on those
So
too at a different date if you want.
that's, yeah, so,
That's important to me. I don't want them to be
I'm
the
not
2 that we
saying it's
have
not
now.
important to you.
Okay.
yes.
I'm fine with that.
But it's, what we're voting on now is your motion now. So, all in favor of Derek's motion to do an in-person, no, I do
don't.
that every time, a secret ballot vote.
My motion was that we have 2 open public forums or hearings, whatever you want to call them, and an annual town meeting by secret ballot.
All in favor?
I'm moving out of here.
You're moving out. Sam, too? Okay, Sam's got, yes. So
Sam?
it's- Yep, he's a 4-0.
We'll debate the dates later.
Yes, there you go. That's a whole nother meeting. All right. So moving on. All right, new business, consideration of comp plan draft. Peter and Kayla, or one or the other?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Kayla Gonzalez, 518 Webbs Mills Road. I apologize because I believe I misspoke at the last meeting. The comprehensive plan is ours, as long as we do not make any changes to the state mandated parts. So any edits that the select board wishes to make, they may go ahead and do so. So Peter and I are collectively wiping our hands of this.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, I did hand out to the town clerk and the select board a copy of the edits that the chair of this select board sent to me.
Yep.
And they were in the form of a suggestion. And it was basically, I could condense it into three suggestions. One, remove mention of specific organizations like Loon Echo Trust and Regional Transportation and replace them with generic descriptions. The second thing was he wanted that we do not identify any specific sites for projects, such as sidewalks on Raymond Cape Road, but rather describe generalized project visions. And then the third one was simply to correct under the directives that we have in the back of the plan that are basically the policies, and that to direct the implementation committee that's going to be appointed after the town approves this plan. And there were some errors in there because Rolf was making it clear that the only authority that the Budget Finance Committee has is basically to assemble a CIP. And so the other things that were under there as far as responsibilities for who should be the boards or the town government involved, there were, I believe, 4 edits where the Budget Finance Committee was removed. So I did all those without any guidance from the chair, but basically saying, well, okay, Kayla and I are pretty much familiar with the plan. We'll go through it, we'll get the page numbers, and we'll make suggestions on what the edits should be. And so that's what you have before you.
Okay.
And as far as one other, just I guess it's a clarification. When Kayla says we're done, it means that the current version, before Select Board or the town decides to make changes prior to this plan going on the town warrant, what happens is that those edits are not the committee's edits. So that has to be clear. And I'll just use an example. If someone is upset because they said they had a group of people at a meeting that said clearly, we think a priority should be paths or sidewalks on the Cape Road, why isn't it there? You own that. We don't, because that's not our version, okay? I just wanted to make that clear.
Yep.
So with that, thank you.
Thank you guys
Wait,
for that.
So that being said, we suggest that you take your edits to maybe town clerk, and she can put them into the document.
Okay.
Thank
Yep.
You have control of the document now as far as making edits go. We don't have access to making any edits. North Star doesn't make any edits. My understanding, it was turned over to the town manager and to basically through that to IT at Kevin. So I don't know exactly who would be responsible for going in and making those changes.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
2 things. Thanks very much for finding them all in all the pages. That's a lot of work, and that's pretty cool. Second one was, I thought I heard in a prior meeting that you said that you guys did tell them not to put in the specific sidewalk one, and they did it anyway, though.
Yeah, I can tell you that and I sent, I believe,
You sent it to me, yeah.
Lisa. The discussion was in December. It was the last meeting of the committee, and the committee basically said, well, we don't really believe it should be just naming one road. I believe the North Star's suggestion to the committee at that time was the more specific you can be in the plan, the better the guidance is and the easier it is for the implementation committee that is going to have a Herculean task anyway. So their thinking was, no, you put those names in and references in because it gives clearer guidance to what comes next after it's voted in by the people.
Okay. So the committee didn't, you're saying, though, the committee did not want it in there, but then the company hired ended up.
It stuck it in.
Kind of fell through the cracks because at that point
Okay.
it was kind of like, all right, North Star, fix this.
All right.
And that's what happened.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I would like to thank you guys, both you guys, and then the whole committee too for all the work on that too. I would like to make a motion to table this because these are mostly Rolf's changes, and I want to make sure he has time to look over them, and then we can put this on our March 18th meeting next week.
You know, I don't think we have to accept it tonight. He's just giving it to us.
Right.
We don't have to, there's no motion, there's nothing to do with it.
Oh, all right. I thought we had to vote on it, but okay.
He just submitted it to us.
All right.
There may be someone who sends the town manager a couple suggestions that didn't make that, you know?
Okay, works for me. All right, new business. Again, consideration of appointing JSMS Visioning Committee. We have quite a few volunteers, which is great, and we had another one that just was turned in tonight. Lori Wallace? Deborah Clark? She did tonight? No? Okay. Okay.
Oh, yep.
She is. All right, hi. Grace Levitt? She's not here. Mark Childs? Nope. Peter Lockwood? Kayla is in the corner. Evie Dupuy? Am I saying that right? Dupuy?
Yeah.
All right. And Susan Accardi, there she is in the back. And Ben Crowder. Yes, we have his application here. So I did talk to Rolf briefly about this, and thank you to all you guys that have stepped up to volunteer for this. If you guys could schedule meetings, these need to be televised because it is a town committee, a town-appointed committee, and people will also be watching and be able to be part of it. But if you guys can do this and have it back to the select board in 60 days, does that give you guys enough time to come up? And again, it's just the ideas of what can be put in there without a price tag. And I hate saying that because that can be kind of scary. But yes, so all the ideas in the town. So we need to make a motion on this one for appointing the JSMS Visioning Committee.
There's only 9 of them, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I make the motion to accept all of them.
Oh, wait a minute, before you do it, hold on a second, I'm so sorry. I'm making sure I got everybody's applications. We also have Joe
Yes, staff
Crocker.
members.
Staff.
I have a question. Can I step up to the podium?
Yeah, please. I just want to add in there 2 more members. Joe Crocker, which is the interim town manager, going to be the interim town manager. Richard Dow, the librarian. Deborah Tarr, age friendly. Mel, I always say your name wrong. Fernald, yes. Town clerk. Nathan White, public works director. Go ahead, Kayla, sorry.
Would you mind clarifying the role of the visioning committee again, please?
Dun, 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 dun.
I believe I put it on the appointment paper at the top.
I only asked because I
In the
thought I just
paragraph
heard
on
you
the
say cost.
No cost.
Thank you.
That's
I was
what-
like, I am not signed up for that.
No, I said it's, I'm almost.
Everything but cost.
I said I'm almost afraid to say add everything in there without the costs, yes. So, yeah,
On the appointment paper, I believe. The other one.
this one here.
I think I put the charge at the top.
Committee who will be tasked with brainstorming conceptual ideas for the use of the building without the costs. And that will come later with a different committee. Okay, so you did a motion?
Well, I was just making a motion for the citizens. I figured staff would be a part of it anyway.
they will.
So I would make a motion that all 9 people that have signed up and shown an interest, I see no reason to deny any of them. They all look like the more the merrier. So I would say the 9 members of the citizens of
Did you
Bremen,
include Ben Crowder?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
And you wrote him in
do we
on
accept
the
them?
appointment paper?
and move forward.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? All right, so you guys, Sue, what's the best way to get them?
Want to get Sam's vote?
Sam, is that a yes?
Did he?
Is he froze?
Did it froze?
Rose.
Okay.
He's froze. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I will have Rolf contact you to figure out scheduling.
How to get this going?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you guys, I just added,
I
you
can-
can write that. Thank
I can do his address, so you can keep going.
Okay, consideration of appointing a Freedom of Access officer. Sue. Oh, Sue? I mean Sue.
Sam.
Sam. You still froze it? There you are. Okay, good. You froze. Thanks, Sam.
So currently, I am the Freedom of Access Officer, so you need to appoint a new one, and I'm recommending Melanie Fernald, our town clerk.
All right. Can we get a motion on that?
Motion to make Melanie the Freedom of Information Officer for the town of Raymond.
Sam seconded, I believe.
No, he's frozen.
That's okay.
In the correct position.
Give the select board lots of raises. Look, he's raising his hand for it. All right, all in favor? All right. Okay, next, public comment.
Brian Walker, Rolfe Road. I didn't want to interrupt the flow on the meeting, so I'm just going to go back really quickly to the town meeting. I hope the select board and the budget finance and all the people that are here that are engaged can, I think there's a marketing challenge here, is what I really want to say. And I think if we talk about those informational meetings in the right way, and make it interesting and problem solve the challenges that people have, like childcare. Well, in the old days, we used to have some childcare, and I think that's a surmountable thing to find somebody who has that expertise that could be paid a minimal amount. I mean, an appropriate amount, but that could have childcare there. Too lengthy, create the rules that say you have this amount of time to make any comments so that things move along, so that we get the engagement that we all want. And I just think it needs a little bit of excitement and a little bit of marketing around it, and the fact that this is your chance to really learn. I went back and looked at just as a data point, I went back and looked at the town warrant from last year. I'm gonna put my piece of paper. Here it is. We had 47 warrants. It was 76 pages long, highly technical in terms of legal and technical information. It needs explanation. It needs the guidance if we're really going to get engaged in voters. So I hope we can work on that. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And then the second thing, which is just off the cuff, is I'm a little confused about, and I don't know what you can talk about with personnel, but do we have a new town manager?
Sue is leaving.
Okay.
She is.
I'm just out of it. Okay.
No. It wasn't, we did it we got Sue's notice, and what we did is we made a motion to accept. It was during a 10 o'clock meeting, I believe on Monday is what it was, and we voted to accept. I'm sorry, you don't know. It hasn't yet. We accepted Sue's resignation. She is moving closer to home. Well, she's going to be living closer to home and pursuing that. And so what happens is we had somebody step up and put in their application to be an interim town manager, which is Joe Crocker.
Okay.
And what we are still doing is we are going to put out advertisements for a town manager and see what we get, and then go from there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Appreciate the update. Thank you.
You said going to?
No, listen to me.
Yeah, you said going to.
Listen, I know, but listen, no. I am one of those people that make those weird things, so, and I know you take the words, but we are, sorry. We are, Brian. Yes. So, yeah, I'm really bad with that. Yes, there we go. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
11 Road. So my comment would also go back to the discussion on the form of elections, and I guess I'm a stickler for words. So let me just be clear, because I heard different descriptions. We're going to have 2 informational meetings that are public hearings about the warrant. Correct? Mm-hmm. All right. So it doesn't mean it's a public hearing, and I'm going to go in there and start talking about the bar on 302 that I don't like. right?
No, this
So,
is
so
on-
this is, so it's clear. The language has to be clear.
It's on the warrants only.
This is two public hearings on the warrant.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, the warrants will be done beforehand, and they will be posted, and it's not going to be like an open meeting with public comment and everything else. Yes. Yep.
Real quick before Jen gets up here,
Sorry.
yeah, I think the idea is get your questions answered. That's the thing. It's not like as soon as you make it a hearing, it sounds like this kind of like.
Well, and I think
Legally, we have
it
to-
has to be called a public hearing.
Yeah.
This-
But the
right.
words around it. can
Oh,
be,
yeah.
like,
Yes.
you know, this is the time to come and get your answers. You know. Your
Right.
questions answered.
Yes, legally, we have to say public hearing. The second one is why we're saying more, additional, whatever. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I wrote down your notes. Go
Pom-pom.
ahead.
Jennifer Danzig, 38 Pulpit Rock Road. Just a quick question. How are we doing town notifications? I remember that in the last year, we talked about, ads being placed in the Wyndham Eagle. With the mail being what it is, I have to tell you that the other day I got a month's worth of mail all at once. Like, I got my Wyndham Eagle from the middle of January, and I got 4 weeks worth of People magazines all in one day. So I think
It's bad.
we need
bad in all towns,
we need
yes.
to figure out how to notify people what's going on in town in a more efficient and inclusive way than relying on the Wyndham Eagle and the Postal Service, because we ain't getting our information.
Well, we thought the Wyndham Eagle, yes, but that's every town right now is seriously shorthanded on postal workers. Is seriously
Oh, of
shorthanded.
course.
It's bad.
And we're going to be even less so
Yes.
pretty soon.
So with that, I mean, we'd have to go a lot of it to electronics, where we could tap into the public rec, we could tap into the library, their emails. We can tap into the signs. We can tap into the page. We can put it on the Facebook page.
So do we have some sort of, database for Raymond citizens where, or are you in the process of trying to figure out, what are people's emails so that you can do an email blast or an online newspaper or something that reaches everybody? Because I think to count on relying on people to go to our Raymond website to find information.
Well, no, Raymond Rec has a huge one. The library has a huge one, is what it is, as far as their emails and their addresses and stuff like that.
I'm just saying, my kids are grown, so I'm not involved in Raymond Rec.
Right.
And sorry, Raymond Library, I love you, but I go to Wyndham just because they have more of what I need. For my kids, So.
Jen, no, that one.
I don't know. Well, I own a property in Wyndham, so I can use Wyndham
All right.
too. So, yeah.
Well, that's
All right.
something that we'll definitely have to, work on as far as getting it out there.
Yeah, because I think especially if you're going to be relying on this public informational hearing to educate people about what's going to be on the warrant. I mean, if people don't even know we're having the educational hearings, then it's going to be an issue, and you're going to have low attendance, and then you're going to say, "See, we told you, low attendance." And so, there really has to be some sort of whether it's a Facebook page or a notification or something, or you start to accumulate a database for Raymond citizens so that you can reach them en masse, timely.
Thanks.
Don has his hand up.
All right, Dawn?
Yes, thank you. I would encourage the Board of Selectmen to advertise for a town manager as soon as possible. It's a very competitive environment out there. There are a number of vacancies in this region and statewide. I would also encourage them to search for and select a town manager that meets the criteria of the job description. I think it's really important for the town to have an experienced and credentialed town manager, and I hope that's what you'll do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue Accardi, Deep Cove Road. I've been wanting to say this, and I think everybody knows it, and I think the Wyndham Eagle is where I get a lot of my information on the town, but I would never depend on it to come in the mail. I understand that. But the Wyndham Eagle is everywhere in town. It's at the post office, it's in the shopping center, it's in Hannaford, it's in Shaw's, it's everywhere around. So I think it's a viable piece of communication, and Raymond has their insert every 2 weeks, every once a month or something, but it's everywhere. So to depend on it to come in the mail is crazy because it's not going to come. But it is everywhere. So I implore people to go out and when they go grocery shopping, pick one up. It's out on every Friday or Thursday it comes out, along with the Lake Region, which is also a fairly, decent local paper.
Okay, cool, thanks.
No, they don't. They're not going to because they're talking about going digital. The Portland Press Herald is like shrinking every day. So but we'll get it. I've been getting it digitally. I don't know how they got me. I don't know, but it is everywhere in town and Wyndham and whatnot. So it is available, and I think we all go grocery shopping.
Okay, thanks, Sue.
Frank McDermott, 2 McDermott Road. At 83, I finally decided I shouldn't assume things because I usually get in trouble when I do. I assume that we're going to have 2 public hearings. Hopefully one on Saturday as Dennis has proposed. Is it my understanding at those public meetings you will go through each of the articles one by one, starting with the first one, going through that, taking questions, move on to the second one, all the way through how many articles there are? Is that the way it will work?
So normally we do not engage back and forth with the public comment, but I'm going to on this one because this is really important. Yes, because we need this thing to be videotaped also. So if we start at 1 and then we're explaining the whole thing, then what happens is, if there's any questions that people don't understand it, then they can ask their questions and then everybody's good or whatever. Boom, we can go to 2.
And then you can stand up and speak on the
Yes.
article pro con.
Yes, it'll be a back and forth that we need people to
All of the
understand it.
committees that will be there to answer questions, who have articles.
I think every committee that has it on there should be there, yes.
okay.
Because I know there's sometimes land issues that people don't understand, and same thing with this as far as understanding the warrants and what they mean and stuff like that. So yes,
I might also
it has to be a backup. Yep. Sorry.
Invite the assessor, and he might be able to explain to people that day how the new assessment is going to be handled, because I think most people are going to be very concerned about how
Good
that's
idea.
going to work. So that would be a good
Okay.
person to have at those meetings to ask questions about that. And I do hope you will have it on a Saturday, like as Dennis proposed, a Saturday before the Tuesday when the vote will take place.
I can't say yes or no on that. Yep. All right. Okay. Any more public comment?
Ben Crowder, 63 Sloan's Cove Road. I think relying on newspaper notification is probably spotty at best. I think people that are younger than me, their chances of picking up a newspaper when they're out at the grocery store are getting to be less and less as they go along. I think public notices, posted public notices in public locations around the town would be helpful with that, with the possibility of alternative delivery means to residents if the town wants to go that far. If you don't think you can rely on the mail, then that may be the only other alternative. But I don't think you're going to find a complete list of emails anywhere that'll get out to enough of the town members, and I just don't think the newspaper is going to reach enough people, especially with the poor mail delivery, to really get out the news that you're trying to spread.
Okay. Thanks. All right. If we're done with that, we're going to move on to selectmen comment.
Yeah, I have something on that. I think collectively, as far as on that topic goes, I think just hitting the most things that we can via. The other thing is too, the people need to be engaged. The people of the town need to take some responsibility in getting engaged. So if it takes the 30 seconds while they're at the grocery store to pick that up, they probably got to do that. If they read the sign while they're going by, as long as they do it safely and they're driving the correct speed limit, I think that's a good way to do it. Or social media for young people. If we hit as many of those avenues as we can, then hopefully we can get some people there. If Rec can have some, some people people up there to watch children and have a little fun activity to keep them kind of at bay. I think all those are good ideas, and I think it's all gonna, move us towards having the most informed people for the votes. So hopefully we can take all these ideas and take them and move them forward instead of just cherry picking from the young or cherry picking from the old. Let's try to get them all in there and use the best ones we can. So.
Okay. Good.
I actually use my select comments to communicate to the public, and I know it works because I've had people who I don't know email me and call me and stop me. So this night, I've got a couple of concerns. I think that when a town manager gives you a notice that they're going to be gone in 30 days, the ad should have already gone out. I don't know why we're going to wait until we finally get around to doing it, but that's my opinion. But there's a bigger concern to me, and that is in the last 2 years, we've lost 2 town managers, now that Sue's quitting, 3 department heads, a public work official, and now a woman who's worked for us 26 years has been fired.
This is personnel. You cannot discuss it. You cannot discuss it.
Well, right, 7 people, 6 people have been
You cannot
done.
discuss anything like that.
I got a call, and I'm
You
just saying that we've lost.
cannot
Okay,
discuss
we've lost 6 people
Okay.
that have left, and I think it's indicative of something that's wrong. And I can't agree more with Don Willard when he says we should have someone who meets the qualification, which is a bachelor's of business, of public management. And preferably master. And we need someone to come in here to take a look at what's going on, why we're losing people. And I apologize if that was out of line, but I didn't use a name, and it happened. So,
But you still use the reference, and you can't do that. Okay, we can't. I'm sorry.
the last thing is, and this is important to me, 13 years I did budgets as a fire chief. 3 budgets on the finance committee, and this year. I have never seen the lack of, let me put it a different way, because I have to be careful, the chaos, the confusion, and the convoluted way that we're doing it, information coming at the last minute. And this is important stuff. I don't even know if it's posted on the web yet. It wasn't last time I looked, but maybe it is now. But this is stuff that talking about communication that anyone can go to on a web and look at. And I think it's important that we start to make sure those sort of things happen. And it's a big concern of mine, because this town manager's missing everywhere. There's meetings across the state right now that are just having so many concerns with town select boards and councils and school boards. And I don't want Raymond to be like that. I want us to be the best we can be in all the potential. So with that said, I think I probably have said what I wanted to say for communications. Thank you.
Okay, town manager's report and communications.
I don't have one tonight.
Okay, let's confirm the dates for upcoming regular meetings. April 8th and May 13th. I think we're still good on those. And the upcoming budget meetings, we have the select board is going to be doing the warrant article review recommendations on March 18th. The final warrant approval is April 3rd. Public hearing. These 2 public hearings that are down here right now are just getting them on the calendar. We are going to change those dates. I'm putting a note on that right now. But one of them, I know there's a time limit as far as so many days before.
Yes, we need to make sure that at least one fits the posting deadline, which is 10 days, I believe, before the meeting, at least.
Okay.
To have it's 10 for the public hearing. It has to be at least 10 days before the vote.
Okay. Just before the vote. Okay, and June 10th is the annual town meeting vote it's from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it will be a secret ballot, so there can be absentee ballots on that. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.